Hey guys, welcome back. I'm Alistair and this is the ASICS Novablast 5. The ASICS Novablast 5 is a bit of a surprise shoe for me. I really love how soft and plush it feels underfoot, and it's actually really lightweight for a daily trainer, only costing $140. So I was super excited to take this out on a few training runs, see how it performed on longer, slower recovery type runs, because that's really what it's designed to do best. But I've also been running quite fast in these shoes as well, just to see how they perform as more of a tempo running shoe too. And I've also been using them for dog walks around the neighborhood, because I know a lot of people out there are going to be looking at this shoe as just a lifestyle walking shoe, because it has all the hallmarks of a really good, affordable walking shoe like that. So I will be commenting on how they perform as a walking shoe too. First off, they cost $140. Very reasonable for a daily trainer that's as lightweight, plush, cushioned, and comfortable as this running shoe. But I will let you know if it's worth $140 at the end of this review. They weigh 8.9 ounces or 252 grams for a size US men's 9, that's my pair. They have an 8mm drop from heel to toe. So that's 41 millimeters of stack height under the heel and 33 millimeters under the forefoot. Now that's on the border of being a high drop. I'd say it's the very high end of a medium drop, or the low end of a high drop, however you want to classify that. But it certainly feels like a high drop, and I'll go into how that affects the run in my performance review. The midsole is using FF Blast Max foam from ASICS, and this is their latest, lightest, kind of responsive, plush, bouncy daily training foam. And it does feel fantastic. It's crazy plush, but it's also got some good rebound in there too. The upper is using engineered jacquard mesh, which is pretty breathable. It's not the most breathable mesh out there, but it does have some good airflow. And the upper is just very plush and comfortable around the collars and the heel counter. And it has a good amount of support and rigidity to it as well. So that makes it really good for a daily trainer. And the outsole is using ASICS's AHA low rubber compound on the bottom, which is very good in dry, but does have a few downsides when it comes to running in the wet. When it comes to sizing and fit, the ASICS Novablast 5 does fit true to size in length, and I'd say it's got a medium width, but that fit does feel quite snug, which is good for a medium to narrow foot. If you have slightly larger than medium feet, then there is a good volume in the upper. The lacing system does allow for a bit of expansion there. But if you have very wide feet, I don't think these are going to be for you, and unfortunately, as of making this video, there isn't a wide version available yet. If you're enjoying this video so far, definitely give it a like, share it with a friend if you think they're going to enjoy it too, and comment on this video. It really helps my channel when you do that, and I appreciate it. It lets me know you're watching, you're enjoying, you're engaging with this content. So just say hi, let me know where you're from, or let me know if you've got any questions, anything. Just drop something down in those comments. And be sure to subscribe to this channel for more running shoe reviews just like this one. I always keep things authentic, genuine and honest, and as insightful as possible to help you determine whether or not the shoe I'm reviewing is going to be best for you and your needs. But if you're still really not sure where to start, just drop a comment down below, let me know your circumstances, and I'll get you hooked up with the best running shoes for you. Congratulations, you've made it to my performance review. Thanks for sticking with me. I'm going to start by going over the midsole, because for me that's really the star of the show when it comes to the Novablast 5, because it really gives the shoe the identity that so many people have probably gotten used to from the Novablast. The FF Blast Max foam is just so plush, it's so cushioned, but it's also got some really good rebound to it as well. Now it has an 8mm drop, which does feel a little bit higher to me. It feels more like a 10mm drop. I'm not sure why that is. But that is the case, that's what the ride feels like. So if you really don't like high drops, then you're probably not gonna enjoy this shoe, especially if you are a forefoot runner and you wanna go fast. It's not really designed for that kind of running. A nice plush midsole like this with a nice high stack at the rear, giving that slightly higher drop, does mean that it's a really good shoe for absorbing shock for anyone who wants to run at slower paces or longer distance, who might have a tendency to heel strike. That's really what this midsole design is going to be best for. Slower runs, longer easy paced runs, recovery mileage, even walking or standing around all day. This extra cushioning and shock absorption in the heel is going to feel really great for those circumstances. That said, there is some good cushioning under the forefoot as well, just not as much of it, which means it is okay if you want to pick up the pace, if you do want to move to a more forward landing stride. So if you do strike more on your midfoot to forefoot, then there is enough cushioning there, but you just don't get as much response. And although you can run faster and it does feel pretty good in this shoe, it's so much better as just a slow, easy paced running shoe. Moving on to the Jacquard mesh upper. I really like how supportive it is. The lacing system is very traditional in how it works. It just works. I kind of like that about lacing systems. I don't like things getting too complicated or quirky, especially when they compromise being able to get a nice, good fit quickly, because that's the most important thing with a lacing system. So they've done a really good job here, but the tongue does let it down. It is very short. And I have experienced the tongue just slipping down and slipping to the side during runs. And sometimes I have had to just adjust that mid-run, which is pretty annoying. I did test wearing thicker socks to see if this would kind of help keep the tongue in place when running, but sadly that didn't really help. So I'd love to see ASICS just make a longer tongue on the Novablast 6, the next version. I think that would really make the fit of the upper that much better. And staying with fit, the heel lock has actually been really good in these shoes, so there's no energy lost when I'm running. The plushness and cushioning around the collars and the heel counter, which has a little bit of flex in it, is just dreamy. It's like stepping into a cloud, as you would imagine from looking at this. It just feels as good as it looks. And that's something that I've come to learn from ASICS running shoes, is comfort is just fantastic right out the box. And that's exactly the same with the Novablast 5. So if you are running in very hot, humid conditions, or you really are doing an intense run and you're really pushing the pace, which you're probably not going to be doing in a shoe like this, but if you are, then it's not hugely breathable, so you might start feeling your feet heating up inside the shoe. And then finally moving on to the outsole. While the rubber compound on here is very good, it's very durable and has great traction in dry conditions, you might notice that it's not the best in very wet conditions, or if you're running over, say, painted lines in the road or cobbled streets. Slick materials like that can get slippy in wet conditions, this shoe isn't going to be the best for, so just avoid those areas if you are running in the wet in these shoes, and you should be fine. Alright, it's time for my final verdict then. Are they worth $140? Well, yes, they are very much worth that. $140 nowadays is actually a really good price for a daily trainer that's durable, very comfortable, has good response and bounciness and cushioning and comfort. So it really does have everything, but there are some things that you do need to be aware of. Those things that I mentioned, things like the fact it is a high drop. Maybe you don't have the best grip in wet conditions, and maybe the upper isn't the most breathable in super hot, humid conditions. But if you're in the market for an affordable daily trainer that is very cushioned, it's very plush, it's got great shock absorption, especially if you are a heel striker or midfoot striker, and you just want a shoe that's really good for long runs, recovery runs, easy jogs, even walking or standing around all day, then really the ASICS Novablast 5 is a really good option for you. Well, I really hope that gave you some insights onto whether or not the Novablast 5 might be really good for you or not. But if you're still not sure, just ask a question down in the comments down below and I'll get back to you. But also, just drop a comment anyway. Say hello, let me know you're watching. I'm a real person and I like it when you comment, so make sure you do that. Thanks again for watching. Again, if you did like the video, give it a like and subscribe to my channel for more running shoe reviews just like this one. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time. Peace.